speaking of Magic Johnson, who is still a Laker executive, on ESPN last night, he had some things to say about the hiring of Mike D'Antoni over Phil Jackson. He said, I love the owner, Dr. Jerry Buss. I don't believe in Jim Buss, who is the executive VP of player personnel. He's made two critical mistakes already, says Magic. First thing, hiring Mike Brown. He wasn't the right coach. He's a great coach, but not the right coach for the Lakers. And I don't feel Mike D'Antoni's the right coach for the Lakers, especially when you have Phil Jackson sitting out there who wanted to be the Laker coach. Well, this afternoon in his first press conference, Mike D'Antoni talking about those comments.
Phil's a great coach. He is a great coach. Will be a great coach, and always done. So I understand also that. But the reality today is that I've got a great group of guys. I'm looking forward to them. Excited. And again, I didn't hear the other stuff, so I don't know what we're referring to. But Magic is a big. When you think of the Lakers, you think of him. And I've reached out to him, and I will reach out to him. And we would love to be able to play Showtime type basketball. Now, they might have done it the best that you can do it. We would like to get someplace close to that, and I think that would be awesome. But that's the type of basketball, so no better person to talk to and pick his brain and see where we're going than him.
Not long ago, Magic Johnson tweeting, the decision's been made that D'Antoni is the coach, so we must support him. I appreciate him reaching out to me and look forward to speaking with Mike D'Antoni. So you guys have all talked about this situation in Los Angeles on NBA.com or on NBA TV, all over the place. We haven't talked about it on this show yet. Hiring of Mike D'Antoni, how did it sit with you, Shaq?
Well, rumorville has it that the great Phil Jackson was asking for too much. We'll never know because neither side is talking. But the Lakers have went on record and saying that we put this super team together this year because we want to win the title this year. Now, it would make sense that if the best coach in the world is out there to bring you to his 12th title, to bring you to another title, we as Laker fans, we're accustomed to winning titles, that would be the logical decision. But like Magic said, the decision was made to bring in D'Antoni. And I personally think D'Antoni is a fabulous coach. He takes a lot of flack for not really being a defensive coach, but Kobe Bryant let it out the bag yesterday. Playing for the great Phil Jackson, we never worked a lot on defense anyway, because, Kenny knows this, you have to have a defensive stopper. You have to have an anchor in your defense. Kenny, when you played, Vernon Maxwell was that anchor. When I played for the Lakers, Derek Fisher was that anchor. When I played for Miami, James Posey was that anchor. But we never really practiced a lot on defense. So Mike D'Antoni, fabulous coach, won 62 games before. I'm anxious to see what he's going to do with this super team.
Kenny and Chuck, the floor is yours.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Oh, well, I wasn't surprised, first of all, as some people were, that Mike Brown didn't continue. I wasn't surprised. I mean, this was a
even 5 games in doesn't surprise you.
Because you look at it and say 5 games in, instead of waiting 20 games in, then I have to kind of change things up in terms of a conceptual thing that he's already implemented. Here you are 5 games in. He really hasn't implemented anything. They haven't really done anything that you've seen the improvement on. So I wasn't surprised at that. I was surprised that Phil Jackson's not coaching for the Lakers. I was very surprised at that because here's the guy who got you there and seems to be the only person in the world that could get Laker championships as a coach in the modern era. But lastly, I really believe that Mike D'Antoni is the right fit. And this is why I said, because Chuck and I both were saying that they shoot too late in the shot clock. Who's the best coach out there available that can make you shoot earlier in the shot clock? Mike D'Antoni. There's no one else that could get you shooting better and quicker in the shot clock. So they will have more possessions. Their talent now will help them win games. I don't think that the way they were playing, their talent would help them win games. Now, when we get to the playoffs, Mike D'Antoni, there's 4 or 5 things that you're going to have to do as a coach to win it all. But they will now get you over on talent that they weren't doing before. But he's going to have to make a decision when the playoffs against the Spurs or the Clippers or whomever is that or Memphis, and he's going to have to make a decision as a coach to get them over the hump?
When he says in your ear 2 minutes, that don't mean keep damn rambling.
No, that means you don't get the whole 2 minutes either.
He meant he wanted me to have the whole 2 minutes.
Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? I know you ain't talking about rambling.
That does not mean that.
Okay, first of all, Phil Jackson was not going to get the job. He was not going to get the job because if you look at the circumstances, they interviewed him and say, you got 48 hours to get to make a decision, and they interviewed other people. So that tells you right there he was not going to get the job. Mike D'Antoni is a very good coach. He's going to have to change. This team is older. They can't play at the pace. First of all, Steve Nash is older. Kobe's older. They can't play at that pace. Their bench is not near as good as the bench he had in Phoenix. They're not a great three-point shooting team. Mike D'Antoni is going to have to change a little bit. This is going to be fun to watch. I don't know how it's going to work. It's easy to get on here and say how it's going to work. I have no idea. I know they can't play like the Suns used to play and get a shot in 5 to 10, 15 seconds right away, because this is a totally different animal.
Why can't they?
Because Steve Nash is 52, Kobe Bryant is 55.
But last year he was 51, and he was still able to play at that pace.
But hold on,
But that team did not make the playoffs.
No, but that team didn't make the playoffs.
No, but those were just stats.
But
no, just because that was a perfect example.
No, not the stats. I'm talking about the pace.
I know, but I'm saying just getting stats at a certain pace ain't the same as they're going to be in meaningful games now, Kenny.
I think that he could get that pace.
But Chuck, Mike D'Antoni's system is, listen, you have to come in shape. We're not going to practice hard. We're not going to practice long. But when it comes to game time, you better run. So
yeah, but he only played. But the problem is, that's another problem he's going to change. He only played 6 guys in Phoenix. That won't work in L.A. because these guys are a much older team.
Yeah, but they're only practicing 30 minutes.
No, but I'm saying they can't play at that pace if he's only playing 5 or 6 guys.
You can't play that.
But games are important. Excuse me, Ernie.
By the way, D'Antoni will not be coaching tomorrow night against the Phoenix Suns. He's targeting Sunday as his first.
Well, actually, he should probably coach against the Phoenix Suns if he wanted to get to 1-0.